especially excited to welcome on our very first guest. Speaking of very impressive athletes, we have the 2023 world champion tie-down roper, Riley Webb, coming up on the stage.
Come on up, Riley. Hey, for all you fans out there that are walking around, get up here. This guy's got a great story. So I see you walking around. Hello, Riley.
Hey, Riley. Well, Riley, first of all, I feel like we have to congratulate you on your world title, 2023 world champion. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You know, one thing about Riley, he's been a stud even before he won that world championship. I mean, we talk about you at such a young age, getting to compete against the very best in the world. And so when you get to those pressure situations, it doesn't even bother you.
You know, sir, I've been blessed, to get the American at, 16, 17 years old and work my way up the high school level and amateur level. And then after I got to the pros, it was like you've been seasoned, been through battle a couple times and ready to go.
I think what's really impressive is not only you won the world title, but you also broke the previous season earnings record. And you did that, you said in July?
Yes,
it wasn't even the end of the season. It was kind of right in the heart of it.
At the end of July, right there in Spanish Fork, Utah. So July's still where you got Cheyenne still going on and everything. And I was able to, break the single season's earnings record before 2 months left in the season. So that was huge for me.
What was really cool about that, did you know at the time, Procom was down. So no one actually knew that he had beaten the record. I mean, besides, your dad, I'm sure, your close family and friends. I mean, did that make the moment a little more special, that it was kind of just that inner circle that knew at the time?
Well, it was kind of, funny. Procom was down for a couple weeks, so it was a couple weeks later, and they're like, oh, he broke the record. And I was like, that was 3 weeks ago.
Who would have thought in this industry something can get hacked, right? And especially at Procom. You mentioned the American and being able to compete at such a young age. Let's talk about how that has impacted your life. I mean, like I said, you started when the American started, you were watching, learning from these guys, and then you got to compete at that young age. How did that impact you and help you with the success you've had thus far?
Absolutely. I've got to go on to every American they've ever had, growing up, going watching. Dad helping, and I got to help, behind the chutes, help load calves and stuff. And then when I was, old enough to rope and qualify and made the American, I was 16 years old. And then every year since, I've been able to go back. So it's kind of, I've grown with the American, also, little kid, first time they ever had the American, got to go watch it, and now hopefully get to go back every year.
Yeah, I was talking to your dad, Dirk, earlier, and I was kind of asking him, I mean, where do you think you didn't have a learning curve really at all, it seemed like, in your professional career. You kind of just came out on the stage, your second year world champion, and I kind of asked him, why do you think that was? And he said he never put you in positions where it was going to tear your confidence down, but only build you up. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think that's what it was?
Yeah, both. I would say both, because once you got to a certain point, you had to enter the open ropings at 16, 17 years old, because they had, the numbered ropings where, the kid's age where you can go rope and you got your classification. Well, at 14 years old, the only thing I could rope in was, the 15 and under and the open. I couldn't go to anything else. So once it got to that point, the only thing I could go to was the amateur rodeos and some of the open rodeos I could get into.
Well, in this sport, we all know that confidence is key, and I'm learning that with my oldest right now. He's steer wrestling and trying to keep that confidence high, but you know as well as anybody that there's going to be some lows that you're going to have to deal with, and being able to get over those little humps and finish it out and go ahead and get back to the top. You had to have a lot of support from your family to help push you over those little humps.
Absolutely. There's always a breaking point in someone's year, season. Like the 4th of July, for me, y'all talking about all the people that won that money, I was like, well, the last 3 years I've always struggled over the 4th of July. So I won one check over the whole 4th, and then got to come up here to Calgary, and we're like, all right, relax, get to rope some good calves, and for a lot of money. So that kind of was relieved to. You say, you like to get up here if you have a good 4th or a bad 4th, but I was ready to get up here and got the rope, got the round win yesterday, and hopefully carry that momentum into today, and then hopefully come back for the finals.
Yeah, we actually have that ride of your round win in Calgary today if we want to check it out right now. It was a very impressive run. It was on your horse Boots, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this is a really good calf. The birds did a great job bringing the stock for the timed events, and horse was good, drilled the barrier. It's the start's so fast here, you go fast, but you still miss the barrier by a couple feet, but try to get going and make the best run I can. I've been getting calves, been straining on me a little bit the last couple weeks, so finally got one that wanted to win something, and luckily we got the championship yesterday.
Well, and talking about the start, how important that is, but not only that, but keeping the calf on the feet. That way when you get to him, get him flanked and tied. And your horsepower in these situations, it's a little bit different than maybe what you ride down in the States, because you have to keep those calves on their feet. One, because it's the rules. Two, because that's how you get sped through them once you get them flanked and tied.
For sure, you want to drill the barrier here and have it on them where they get, too much speed built up, because, the farther you go down the arena, the faster the speed's going to get built up and harder it gets to keep them on their feet. So you want to try to drill the barrier and have it on them fast before they get going too fast and turn them around, and it makes it easier for you to step in there and go faster.
Well, for all these fans out here watching, please come in and join us, because like I said, Riley's the king. I want to ask you this question. How important is it to be able to handle your slack in this arena?
Not even in this arena, and in my event as a whole, that's huge. Try to ride the best horses you can and handle your slack and control the calf where you want him. If you can control the calf where he's standing looking at you every time, or you can just step in there and flank him, that changes the whole game.
Wow, that's really, really impressive, Riley. So let's talk about your horsepower just a little bit, because you did get a new horse right after the NFR, right, Rudy? Is that correct?
Right before the NFR.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Where'd that horse come from?
He come from Lane Livingston, Seymour, Texas. He's got a lot of good horses, and I got to ride him a little bit, mounted out on him, so I had a winning record on him a little bit before I bought him, so that was nice, and rode him all in the Northwest, and then got to ride him at the NFR. He'll be back in 2 weeks. He was a little sore after the first couple weeks, so he'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm ready to have him back, and I got excuse me, Boots, horse I rode up here. That's who I rode last year and broke the record on, and get to ride him a little bit, and Rudy gets back, and then have both of them back in the rig.
Yeah, horsepower is key in any event in rodeo, but having two great horses like that is awesome, and we see that in all the timed events.
It's very, very important. And so, Riley, I know you're going to hate me for it, but we've got a hilarious story that I really want you to share, just to show that you, even as a kid, you could rope the neck in any situation. Tell us about the emu, please.
Oh, well, there's a story. Dad got this, I don't even know what it was, but it got out of the house, and it was running down the road there, and we had to chase it down the road, and we jumped out of the truck. I was on the trailer, and we roped him on top of the big bridge there in Denton before he got on the other side, and it just was a disaster, but I guess Dad likes to share that story.
You were 8 or 9? How old were you?
I think so, yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. And why did you have an emu?
That's a great question. We have to ask Dad about that. There's always something around there that sticks out.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, goes to show roping ability, even at a young age. You had it.
I got one question for him though, because I've been in this situation. World champion, you were not in the number 1 spot right now. What is it feeling like? What kind of pressure do you have on yourself to think you need to get to that number 1 spot right now?
For sure, can't sweat it, too much. The season's a long season. We're just, kind of just getting started, really. The 4th's over. I like all this after the 4th, where it slows down. You don't have to go to 2 a day. You can just go rodeo the ones you want to go the best ones, and be ready to go at the big ones. And the rounds at the NFR pay $30,000 a night, and $60,000 behind right now. So that once you get there, that could go away in 2 nights. So just keep roping, try to do the best I can every time I show up, and in God's plan it'll all work out.
Wow. Wiser words. Riley, thank you so much for being on the show with us. We wish you the best of luck today, and as you chase your next gold buckle, which I'm sure will be coming up pretty soon.
Thank you.